I don't dream very often. Well, I know everyone dreams, but let's say I don't remember most of mine. And the ones I do remember are usually moments where reality bends, where the constants of physics no longer apply. But I know this. We talked about it in a video once. Dreams are doors that open into the darkest corners of the human mind. And those places are often filled with emotions and thoughts we don't even know exist. So I'm sure the idea that our dreams could be interfered with feels as unsettling to you as it does to me. The thought that someone could manipulate that hidden world inside us, the world that guides us unconsciously, it's not pleasant at all. But I have bad news. Scientists seem to have found a way to slip into our dreams, and they've even proven it with an experiment. Today, we're going to talk about this unsettling possibility and the doors it opens. Let's begin. We're talking about dream hacking. Dream hacking isn't a brand new term, but it looks like it's about to become popular because, as it turns out, there's a secret doorway into what we believed was our most personal, intimate experience, our dreams. And apparently, that door can be opened. Here's how we can describe that door. At the very beginning of sleep, there's a brief moment, just a few seconds, where we're caught between being awake and asleep. Not fully conscious, not fully unconscious. In science, this moment is called hypnagogia. It's a limbo associated with hypnagogic hallucinations, lucid dreams, lucid thoughts, and even sleep paralysis. During hypnagogia, the brain is still open to the outside world. You can hear a sound, pick up a smell, but usually without conscious awareness because the state of sleep has technically already begun. And this exact moment is one of the scientific world's favorites, one of the strangest, most vulnerable states of the human mind. In fact, there have been scientists and artists who discovered and played with this state. Edison, for example, used to sit in a chair holding a metal ball. As he drifted off, the ball would fall, the sound would wake him, and he'd capture the ideas that came to him during that fleeting moment. Salvador Dali used a similar method, gathering the imagery that surfaced in that brief daze as inspiration for his paintings. I'm sure some of you immediately thought of Inception. One reason the movie became so iconic is our fascination with this mysterious mechanism in our brains. Nolan pushed the boundaries, of course, but the core idea is similar. As you fall asleep, a thought can be planted into your mind without you noticing. Your dreams can be hacked. Now, let's get to the experiment. In 2018, a team at MIT Media Lab started with a simple question. Can dreams actually be guided? So, they developed a simple device called Dormio. You wear it on your wrist. It tracks your heart rate, muscle relaxation, and breathing rhythm. In other words, it can measure exactly where your brain is as you drift into sleep and detect the hypnagogic state. Once the device confirms the subject has reached that threshold, the researchers get ready. Right as the participant enters that in-between state, technically asleep, closed to the outside world but open on the inside, the researcher whispers a word. Something like tree. The participant then slips into deeper sleep with that whispered word in mind. Later, the researchers wake them and ask, "What did you dream about?" You might wonder how they know whether someone has actually dreamed. Two ways. Physiological signals, heart rate, muscle relaxation, and breathing changes. Dormio records all of this and confirms the threshold. And the subject's immediate reports. The first word spoken upon waking comes straight from the dream before conscious filtering occurs. And here's the key part. The word shows up in the dream report. If the word was tree, one subject says, "I was in a forest." Another says, "I saw branches." Another describes being among leaves. And this doesn't happen just with one person. It repeats across participants. After small pilot studies with 6 people, they ran a larger experiment with nearly 50 participants, each going through multiple 45-minute cycles of falling asleep and being woken up. Each cycle used the same theme. And with each round, the likelihood of the word appearing in the dream increased. The final results were striking. About 70% of the participants in the targeted theme group reported dreaming about the suggested theme. When tree was the theme, it showed up one way or another in almost every dream report. In the control groups, where no word was given, or the word was spoken while they were awake, the rate was almost zero. So yes, our dreams can be guided from the outside. But it didn't stop there. They also tested what effect this had after waking. Participants were given small creative tests, writing a short story about a tree, generating unusual uses for a tree, rapid association tasks. And the result? Those who dreamed about the tree were much more creative. Their stories were richer, their ideas more original, their associations more distant. Because their minds had already played with the theme within the dream, exploring it from different angles, in different scenes. When they woke up, they had a ready supply of mental material. Ideas they wouldn't normally think of had already been rehearsed in the dream. Maybe this is why we have the saying, sleep on it. Perhaps our ancestors discovered that when we fall asleep with a thought in mind, our dreams run different scenarios, helping us consider possibilities we'd never notice while awake. This technique is called targeted dream incubation. You can use it intentionally to boost creativity or improve decision-making. And of course, the experiment was done with full consent and for scientific purposes. But there are also less pleasant possibilities. Someone could use it without your knowledge. Marketers would be thrilled by the idea of influencing people through their dreams. Subliminal advertising attempts have existed for decades, but they're extremely weak. Dream manipulation, however, would be the true holy grail, shaping behavior without the person ever knowing. And yes, companies and political groups would love this power. Research on how this could be done is already underway. Our smart devices make this even easier. Wearables, like smartwatches, could detect your hypnagogic state through your physiological signals. And once they detect that moment, could a device play a sound to influence your dreams? Well, at this point, we can only imagine. But it's not hard to see where this could go. Still, let's stay on the positive side. We can use this technique ourselves by shaping our thoughts before sleep and creating an intentional pre-sleep routine. We can plant the seeds of our own dreams. We can use this hidden power of the mind to our advantage. Our brain is extraordinary. Even while we sleep, it can work for us. Amazing, isn't it? If you'd like, you can support me by subscribing and leaving a like. And as always, until we meet again, I'm glad you're here. Much love.